Good morning. It is December 14th, 6:01 a.m. and I'm doing my face skincare and I'm trying a new routine for my hair. It looks scary, but I thought that it would be a good time for an early morning reflection. I don't know if I could take myself seriously with this, but I think it'll be funny to look back down here's the line and kind of see my raw thoughts on this, you know, closing the end of the year. And I think maybe one thing that kind of prompted me was that, Killing Code just did its 2025 Wrapped, and I guess it was just shocking to see the progress that I've made throughout the entire year because honestly, in my head, I feel like I didn't move as much as I wanted to. Like, I wanted to be progressing a lot faster. But yeah, I think it was actually really crazy because I think I ended the year last year around 3K to 4K, and I'm almost at like basically 25K. And that's just like a shocker to me because I didn't realize it was that many new followers who joined the Kill It community. And so I'm very grateful for like all of that. And I think I just wanted to have this space to just like, I don't know, just reflect and be proud of myself because I think I've definitely said it before that like I really want to take each moment and really bask in and be proud of myself for every little thing. And as much as I say it, I don't fully feel it, but I think this is also one of the first times that I'm really fully trying to embody it because it's kind of crazy to see the progress from last year to this year. And honestly, if I was talking to my future self last year, like let's see, let me try to remember what was happening last year, 2024, because back then I think I had just started my website. So I didn't have it in time for, I mean, I guess I did have it in time for Christmas, but not enough to get like Christmas sales. I feel like I kind of really got the hang of it in February for my Valentine's Day drop. But yeah, so in December, like I literally remember taking photos of like the folded clothes. It wasn't even digital mock-ups. It was just like photos of the clothes, which is like totally fine, but it was just like, oh, it could have been I guess like more professionally done in that sense. Someone's coming from Amazon. I'm gonna hear it, so I'm scared. So I'm gonna talk after they deliver it. That's them. Okay, I think I heard them leave. Anyways, so yeah, last year, um, yeah, I was barely just starting up my website, and a year before that, technically I had the domain. I just was too scared to actually do anything. Um, I was waiting for the perfect moment, and there never really was one. And honestly, I think maybe that's why I'm not proud of myself in 2025 as much, like when the year went on. I think it's because I adopted the mindset of like, do it before you're ready. And so every time I did something, like even for the Filipino Pride collection, I didn't feel like I was ready to launch it yet. And so I think maybe honestly that's where it comes from. Like that's why I don't feel proud of myself is because I feel like if I waited for the perfect moment to be ready, that's when I think I could be proud of myself. And I think that's just something that's like a me mindset that I have to kind of not adopt. Um and kind of just fix my mindset going into 2026. But yeah, so 2024 was ending the year at you know getting my online website up. And yeah, honestly, I didn't really make a lot of sales that year for online, obviously, because there's only that website and stuff. But for 2025 now to this year, I think if I were to grab, so at the beginning of the year, I think I put my Kiliko goals, and honestly, let me just grab it real quick because I think it's actually really interesting. So give me a minute. I'm not gonna cut this, so this will just be as it is. Okay, so I have this. It says at the top, do it before you're ready. And then it says sewing classes, applique embroidery, cut and sew manufacturing, hosted event, 3 collaborations, 20K growth, 10K monthly, bamboo, 3D, multicolor printer, and studio and warehouse. So let me just break it down and talk about each one of these. So I'll just put it down here so I can reference it. Sewing classes. I think the reason I put this is because in order for me to make good clothing, I also have to have the context of like how to make a good garment, and that's why I wanted to kind of have the basic knowledge of that. So I actually did take sewing classes with my mom and sister and my other sister, and I actually posted it and stuff. Um, but yeah, so we did that, and then I've actually been looking into different expedited courses and stuff like that. Um, but I was talking to actually other people. They were saying that like you really don't need to have that background as long as you work with a good manufacturer. And so I think I'm gonna kind of hold off on that because I can honestly learn everything if I really wanted to, put my head down and Google like university, YouTube university and stuff. Like I could technically learn all that. So I'm gonna hold off for that. But it's the fact that I already did it anyways and got a taste of it. Technically, because I DIY everything, like I actually did have a context of like how to using sewing machine, and so although the class was helpful to an extent, I feel like I could have gotten more out of it if I did like say a more intermediate kind of class because yeah, the teacher was also a self-taught sewist, and so I think that I also, you know, I'm self-taught with like a lot of things I do too, so I'm like, okay, if she could learn it herself, so can I. Applique embroidery. This one I was super excited for because I really wanted to level up like how I do embroidery because the past couple of years I've just been doing like, the basic regular embroidery. And so I was actually able to put out actually one of them. 3 different applique hoodies, which I mainly sold in person, and then a couple other sweaters that used applique. But the 3 that I did, basically there was different variations of lace on the back, denim applique in the front, another one with like yellow on the back of the sun, and yeah, I think those ones are like one of my fave hoodies and stuff that I've made in person. And then only recently, basically what I was doing is that all the leftover in-person stock, I put it online to my website. And it was actually so cool because the first day that I put it, I didn't even announce that so it's called the Arao hoodie. I didn't even say that it was going live, but it was already bought. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like that's actually really, really cool because that's actually one of my favorite pieces. I unfortunately do not have one in my size. The only size I have left is a 2XL, but yeah, so that's that, and I did get into it, and so I'm slowly incorporating more applique into my stuff. So yeah, that was actually one thing that I should be very proud of myself for because I'm happy I was able to even just get into applique. Cut and sew manufacturer. Yeah, so I have had my fair share of manufacturers, um, researching and stuff, and yeah, honestly, you win some, you lose some. I did have some difficulties with it, but I mean, I think that's also with anything that I go through. I'm going to have those learning lessons, and I think something that I heard from somebody else is that don't take this as like a failure or a mistake. Just say, oh, okay, it took me. Not saying that this is the number, but it's like, oh, for example, who I heard this from, they were like, oh, I see that mistake as like a $10,000 tuition, or I see that as like a learning lesson to you had to go through it in order to learn from it. And so I think that was something that I also adopted too, where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to see any mistakes or failures as like failures and that's it. I'm going to take it as learning lessons, and that's kind of what I need to adapt my mindset to be. It's really just a learning lesson. I had to learn it one way or another, and it has to happen the way it did. So yeah, that happened. Hosted event. I did not host an event, but honestly, that's okay. I know that I was in talks with possible ones, but I feel like the year was so busy that I'm totally okay not doing that. I think next year it's totally like if it's in the cards, like that's totally fine. I'm not super like I think this is just like a bonus plus one. If it happened, it happened. And so I think that was totally fine. If anything, hosted event, it could have been my friend's miss because I basically did host that anyways, and I did give out like Helico prizes. So maybe we're actually on a roll. And I'm gonna say check mark, it was complete. 3 collaborations. Yeah, actually, I think I was able to do 4. So, did a collab with Kappa Psi Epsilon. We did a fundraiser for them. Tremendous. We did one just as like a collab, and then Try Counseling, Social Post, and then Joblo Sauce, also another collab. So I think that was super cool. I know that I was in talks with like other, maybe like other collabs that were in the queue too, but it just didn't work out. But I think it was just so awesome to just even be reached out to and even want to be collabed with. So I think that's just really awesome that people even want to work with me, because I feel like I feel like I have a goatee. Um, but yeah, sometimes I just feel like I don't know, very shy, and I feel like people don't like me sometimes. I don't know. But yeah, 20K growth. This is awesome because that's exactly how what the thingy was. It's literally said for the Kill It Co Wrapped, it actually was 20,000, around like 20,000 plus followers this year, since I did start off with like a couple thousand the previous year. So that is so awesome. 10K monthly. Not there yet in terms of Kill It Go, but in December I did hit a record breaking month. So that actually is awesome. I think one day I'll eventually get to 10K monthly for Kill It Go sales. But yeah, and then a bamboo 3D multicolor printer. So I'm not there yet, only because if I invested into another project or another machine right now, it would kind of take away from the business. And so I'm going to wait on that, so that's totally fine. Studio and warehouse. I have not gone to this, but it is actually something I'm a bit more seriously looking into for 2026, only because if I plan to really scale and everything, I really have to figure out how does merchandising, um, warehousing everything and storing the stuff. Like even right now, it's kind of like overflowing and stuff. So I have to figure all of that out. But yeah, so I think all of this is to say that I really should be more proud of myself for even the small things. And I think this goes for everybody. I feel like maybe it's also just like LA too, but with the hustle culture and everything, I feel like it's very easy to be in the moment of like, okay, grind, 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 and like, okay, move on to the next thing, move on to the next thing. Um, and I feel like maybe that's even the mindset that I adopt, especially being in a startup environment and I guess like small business where it's like I kind of have to do everything. So I do everything and all that. Um, yeah, I think everybody kind of needs to be, take some more time for self care and just basking in their accomplishments, because I know that that's something that I wasn't even really taught how to do either, of like just being proud of myself. It was always seeking validation from my parents to be proud of me. Huh. Maybe I should go to therapy for that. But anyways, I think, yeah, I guess I'm so. Honestly, yeah, maybe it's because I feel like I'm always seeking validation from other people, and maybe that's also why I don't feel complete. And now it's really the year of me being proud of myself just because. And period. Like, I don't have to have a but or an and or whatever. Like, I just wanted to be proud of myself. But yeah, so I think I'm really excited for 2020. That's fine. I get shy to talk. Anyways, I think that's all for now. But yeah, here's to more growth in 2026. Maybe in another video, I'll kind of talk about more of my routines and goals for 2026. But yeah, I don't think there really needs to be a full reset to be doing resolutions. Obviously, you've seen from my habit tracker that every day I'm just trying to get better. So let's do it.